When it first began, it provided an opportunity for women to study Jewish texts. 30 years ago, there were very few opportunities for women to study those texts in a serious way. So we gave that women a chance to be part of that and also to assume positions of leadership in the Jewish community through their study. It also, as a pluralistic institution, provided a forum, and still does, for ideas to be discussed, debated, to get ideas out there into the larger community. Those, I think, are still valid. Of course, over the course of 30 years, many things have changed. What is not changed at all, and what I feel is the pressing need for the Jewish communities in North America, is the lack of sufficient personnel. I refer to teachers, I refer to rabbis, I refer to all kinds of communal leaders, especially in the realm of education. We simply are not providing, A, enough people, and B, we have to improve the quality of people who go into those professions. That, to me, is the absolute number one priority for our larger community in North America. And I think that what's really needed, and hopefully Drisha can be part of this, and I think is already part of it, is to attract serious people who really want to engage in their tradition through study in a very intense way with a high standard, and to, after having studied, to take that learning and to connect it to real life and to go out into the community and to teach others. Teach both in terms of text, teach both in terms of living, and to address real questions that we have. What does it mean to be a Jew today? What does it mean to be a Jew living in the United States of America or Canada? How do we apply the teachings to real life? I think the Torah's got to be real. I think the first step is to combat what is, I think, the great danger, and that is the danger of not knowing, the danger of ignorance. To have a place where it's open and where it's serious and where people can grow personally, work very hard, and to try to translate that into Jewish communal life. To me, that's what Drisha can be part of, and I think that is an incredibly pressing need. I would add that Drisha was founded to provide women access. And I would say that a lot of things have changed in the course of 30 years. I still don't believe that, certainly in the more traditional communities, I think there's still a lot of work to be done. And I wanted to add to your question, and that is that the work that is to be done in terms of women, which is not a women's issue, but a Jewish communal issue, because getting the best people to do what they do best benefits all of us. But I think in the traditional community, there's a lot of work to be done, not with women, but with girls. Not when they're 21, but when they're 5 or 7. And to get the message out that the Torah is yours. It's not belonging to any particular group, not to men as opposed to women, not to one group of Jews as opposed to a different group of Jews. The Torah is there for all of us. There are many different ways to understand the Torah. There are many different perspectives on it. And it's important that the community provide many places, many settings where people can engage fully from where they're coming from and try to get a deep understanding of their tradition. I think the work still remains in terms of the so-called women's issue, and I think the focus moving forward is not so much the women, but the girls. The girls who are in day schools, by the way, the girls in supplementary schools, and the girls who have no access to either. I think we have to reach out to all of these groups and to bring all of them to the table and to give each one and everyone an opportunity to maximize their God-given gifts to study. And Jewish education needs its share of the best and the brightest. I'm not against the lawyers and the doctors and all that stuff. It's great, but we cannot be in a situation where the best and the brightest go to every profession except Jewish education. And I would say that, not to speak poorly, but the Jewish community, and I'll exempt from this the rigidly orthodox, who I think have transmitted to some extent the message that education is a profession to be honored and a great opportunity for the right person to go into. But I would say that everything to the left of that, if we want to use left and right, we as a community have failed to impart that value. We may pay lip service to it, but we don't really believe it. And I think until we really believe it in our souls, you can't transmit it. But you don't really believe in your soul, you can't transmit. And we're all going to pay a very severe price. It's not too late to regroup, to refocus. And maybe the current economic problems that we're facing right now are really an opportunity for us to get people involved in professions that not just pay off in terms of finances, money, but pay off in terms of a sense of accomplishment, an inner sense of contributing to the Jewish communities, contributing to a better understanding, a deepening of our own connection to our tradition, to God, to values, and a real opportunity to work for the betterment, not just of ourselves, but of others. So I think that's what Drisha is about. And I would add one other point, that I think the best kind of learning takes place in an environment where people feel they can speak the truth. By truth, I mean what they really think. And in a place which respects everybody's right to say whatever they want to say, but also demands that the person who's saying something back it up with real thought, with a real argument that makes sense. We have to deal in the realm of what makes sense, of logic. It should be free, open in that sense, but it also demands that the person can defend her or his position. That's also part of respecting the other person, that we have expectations of all of us, that we can both make statements, but also try to back them up. And out of that dialogue, good things will happen.